Hey guys, Jay here, welcome to EonsOfBattle.com, and today I'd like to show you how to create a giant crystal base for your miniatures. Now this is a really good base for like an assault marine or some sort of jump infantry, where like you want to give them a little bit of extra height through the base. Even like a Harlequin or like a jumping Eldar would be a good one for this base. So the first thing I did was I took some insulation foam. This is a pink foam, they also have it in blue, and I just began trimming and carving it down to an appropriate size to be on the 25mm base. Now, the really important thing to note when carving this stuff is that you want to get as clean cuts as possible, as you want it to look like broken crystal shards. And so the longer and smoother cuts you can get, the best. I'm using a box cutter with all of the blades, with all of the blade exposed, which is not the safest thing, but since I'm cutting something as soft as foam, it's safe enough to do. And this gives me a much larger surface area with the razor, and so I can get very, very clean, long cuts. Now, you don't want to use any sort of sawing or stopping of the blade in between during the cut, as you'll end up with these jagged, unnatural looking surfaces. An important thing to note also about this base is I would very highly suggest that you pose the miniature on the base beforehand and decide at what angle he's going to look best at, because it's very easy for a model to be posed unnaturally on a base like this. For the flocking of this base, I took some hot melt glue and I applied it all around the crystal to sort of bolster it as if the crystal has pushed up the dirt around it. And then you could, while the hot melt is still wet, dip it into a mixture of sand. I used just generic playground sand that has different grains of sand in it. I just dipped it and it came out. If you don't have time or your glue dries too quick, you could also just put on some PVA glue and dunk it as well. I then primed the model black, and then also take note that you cannot use an aerosol primer or something from a shake can to prime this, because it will melt into the foam. So you're going to want to use an acrylic black to paint the base. So once it was dry, I then took some gloss coat and I painted up the entire base. Now I'm going to be dry brushing this a little bit later, so I just put on one coat to leave a little bit of the texture behind, but if you really want a sharp, shiny surface, I would suggest putting on multiple coats until you have something that you're happy with. And then once that was dry, I painted the entire crystal blue, using a very, very bright blue. This ended up taking multiple coats, and I wanted it to look very, very striking. And then I took a long, thin, bristled brush and I began edge highlighting all of the sharp, jagged edges in a turquoise color. This will help add a lot of definition to the crystal. And then for the final step, I did a dry brushing of a very, very light blue, lighter than any of the previous blues that I used on the base. I did a heavy dry brushing on the flocking that I put down, and then I did a heavy dry brushing on the base of the crystal, and then a light dusting over the rest of the crystal to give it a very, very alien planet look. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more videos like it, you can visit our website at EonsOfBattle.com. If you have any other ideas for videos that you'd like to see us do, please leave in the comments below. Thanks for watching.